Well, Rob, we're seeing some small gains coming through on the market today. Of course, we lost some ground yesterday, but really for the past week or so, it looks like the market hasn't really moved anywhere much.
Yes, it does look like the market is consolidating at these levels. We hit January highs, and since then we've seen profit taking come in, and not aggressive selling from there. So as soon as it picks up just over the highs, around the highs, we see some selling coming in and a bit of a consolidation coming in the markets currently. We're also coming into futures closeout this week.
What do we need actually to drive the markets either higher or lower? Are we looking for news out in the markets at the moment?
Yes, obviously the Fed's rate decision is quite important this evening. We're going to have to wait to see what they indicate going forward and when they're going to start increasing rates. A lot of the big foreign banks that trade with the Fed expect some interest rate movement by the end of the year. And I don't think there'll be any interest rates currently. They won't announce any interest rate changes this evening. But definitely looking forward and see how they're going to tighten and are they going to reduce stimulus. So that's really going to be the main driver, and definitely more even than China. So that if that meeting today is very important.
Of course, we know that the discount rate was raised just a while back, but the Fed funds rate expected to be kept on hold, as you said. It's really all about the wording, though, of that document that comes out from the Fed this evening, isn't it?
Yes, people want to see and get an indication of when they're going to start moving those rates. The economic data coming through is that there is definitely a recovery in the States, but it is a slow and gradual recovery. And people want to know when that stimulus packages are going to be removed and when they're going to start increasing interest rates. If it's a gradual recovery, there's not going to be very much inflation pushed up into that US market, and therefore there's no real reason why they must increase those interest rates. So we'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen there.
Well, if it does start hinting about monetary tightening in the near future or unwinding of stimulus, would that necessarily lead to dollar strength? And if so, what would that do to our market?
Now, obviously, if there is some tightening coming in there, we'll see that the dollar will strengthen quite considerably and quite quickly. We'll see commodities come down in price, and that will obviously affect the amounts of. Obviously, our general miners will come down quite aggressively from there. We'll also see money flow back into the States, and therefore some of that carry trade will come off. So it can be quite aggressive moves and swings in our market if there is some type of interest rate hike.
Of course, at the same time, there is concern in the market that China could start tightening its monetary policy further to try and cool down that economy. Is that just as dangerous for our market? I mean, could we also see some repercussions from that?
I think obviously, as the US being the biggest economy in the world, still they hold, we'll still want to see what's happening on that side, but China obviously will make a big impact. They've already started reducing liquidity in their markets, and obviously we are going to have to look at that very closely. China are tightening, and we'll probably see some statement out of them in the next week and a half.
Of course, you mentioned the futures closeout coming up on Thursday. That's the March futures closeout. What sort of action are we looking for in that closeout? How does the March futures closeout compare with some of the others?
March is generally a big closeout for our market. Currently, we've got about 60 to 70,000 contracts that still have to trade, and it is slightly trading quite expensive at the moment. If it stays at these levels, we'll probably see the market having to come in and buy some stock. So a bit of firmness coming through our market over the next day or two if this roll stays quite expensive currently. But we'll look at it later in this afternoon and early tomorrow morning to get a real clear indication. But we should see quite a lot of flow through the markets during the next 2 days.